Let's do it. Um, all right, everybody. Welcome to the second Credmark Modeling Framework workshop. This one is going to be a lot more focused on just how to build a model from the ground up. I will talk much less. Kunlun will talk a lot more. And yeah, we're just going to, I guess Kunlun can just get started showing us how one builds a model with this framework, and then we'll service questions as they pop up. I'd say we can let Kunlun go for like the first 15, 20, and then depending on how it goes, we can open up to
Yeah,
questions around then, like a half hour or something. So
yeah,
take it away, Kunlun.
yeah. Sure. Thanks for the introduction. So, what I feel that this is one of the series that to introduce the model framework, our dear Credmark modeling framework, in short CMF, to the community, and we do have lots to cover. So last I think 2 weeks ago we start with more on the form of Q&A form. So this week I will spend let's say 20 minutes first to go through some of the things I would like to share with you, and then we still go for some Q&A, and I can do live coding as well. Oh, let's go. So I do hope this can be a regular thing, because we have been speeding up our updates. We do have a lot of updates, and of course we have some foundation stuff to cover. So I'll just show the screen first, and let's see. We may not go in order, or go in order. Yeah, it just doesn't go to the actually show up in the other screen. So I think I'm doing as well. Okay, so this is a short introduction on me. So I just saved 1,000 words for a picture. Just want everyone to know where to find us. Find me, and also finding the modeling and research team. We are in Discord, modeling channel, research channel, or framework help channel. And just for me, I'm active a bit in the Singapore time, which is GMT plus 8, 12-hour difference, or 10-hour difference from the US time. Yep, any questions, anything, yep, drop a line in Discord, and me or my teammates will follow up with. So the foundation stuff, we'll still cover a few slides about how to install. I think these never try to ask this kind of questions. Yeah, so this is the way that leads to the exciting things. So I want to just briefly cover here. Go to our Credmark on GitHub, and either click this link, or and then download, or you can follow just these 2 lines. Oh, sorry, it should be these three lines. Git clone without the colon. Okay, and then followed by create a virtual environment, so that your packages will be into that virtual environment inside of the global system packages. And then install a few things, the requirements, and requirements -dev, and this will give you a very up to speed about what. And so that I'll also mention about how to get things updated, and what is our update cycle as well, a few slides away. So yeah, if you're not sure about how to install, I'll just refer to these slides. I think we definitely want to make it very clear and obvious on our website. That's the first step to get access to CMF. So what CMF offers is a lot of I couldn't think about a cooler name than types, but these are things are very interesting. Imagine that given any address of an account, or a token name or symbol name, and immediately you are able to call it like an object and ask the object to tell you what is the name of the symbol and what is the decimal points and what is the total supply, what is the balance of that token in someone's wallet address.
From some projects where we're working with the framework.
Sorry,
Yeah.
JW, are you muted?
So these are the very cool types that we are used to do a lot of interaction with the Web3. And what powers it is that we automatically loads the ABI, the binary interface, and all the functionality will be exposed there. And on the other side is that we have a lot of pre-built models inside. So what need to probably more highlighted is we do have a lot of ledger data. So we keep up to date about the Ethereum main network, the main chain, and we're going to add more. The current, we're loading almost real time, about 10 to 20 minutes delay, about keep up with the main chain. So all the ledger data, the transaction data will be available. So I will do a bit demo about that. So this is what slides to catch up some updates from the last 2 weeks. So so the updates actually comes into two components. Let me explain first. So we have the framework component, which is the foundation for any of the core features, and it actually has a version to release. So we'll make a new version, and that actually being embedded into the models. So that's why you only need to download the models repository, and the installation or the requirements will download the latest version of the framework. But the framework is more version release. And on the other ones, the other one models, which is the collection of models, the data models, the pricing models, the financial models. It is basically is a daily release, rolling updates. So whenever there's a new PR comes in, we take a few days to review it, and if everything goes smooth, it will be quickly merged. And these models is actually not versioned. So please just run git pull often to keep up to date. And just watch out for our channels because these git pull will also update reference to the framework. Then you need to update the framework as well. So I actually have a few proposals to every time you run the Credmark dev command, you will go to check what is the latest version. It is not there yet, but I think we'll want to get more prompt about the new releases and let you aware about the new releases, and you are able to just install the latest version. So what's new in the current one is that we have a console model. I think I demonstrated last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, and I think it was causing many interest. So this has been formally merged into the main branch, and you can use it latest version of the framework. And the other two exciting things is we are trying to integrate with Panda's data frame for series and ledger. So all the ledger data actually by themselves are tables, so they are natively to be converted to data frame, and they can be utilized by many of the data analytics packages. And the other one is the Credmark Dev Crate. It's a new commands coming to the development utility that will just create the boilerplate code for the models. So you can update the boilerplate code, remove what's unnecessary, the ones which basically guide you to the first update. Then you can adding your own model code. So I think I will also need to demonstrate on that. And the last one, yeah. Any question? Or you just command?
I was just saying, yay! I haven't seen the create command work
definitely.
yet.
That's a yeah.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see you do it. I haven't used it yet. So
yeah. And last one is I think also related to some communities feedback that to run all the models in local mode. It's more for development. And we do have a few new models comes up. So that's why I split into two slides. The previous slides talking about the framework and this one talking about the models. So I just want to highlight the first one, which we are adding the Chainlink Oracle. We do have a price model. I think it was called token price. And so that has been working for us for a while. And so we are just want to try, we start to try these Chainlink Oracle prices. And sooner or later, we are going to integrate these Chainlink Oracle prices into the token price. So that's something we are planning to do. So we definitely want to encourage the community to try out the Chainlink Oracles to see whether that suits your usage. I do know someone's have a very experience with testing the quality of data. I hope that I can hear some feedback from. So we have keep on updating the DEX pool information models. That would be my personal or the current UST Terra analysis going on, and a lot of interest has been attracted to how much is the cash flow that has been through DEX. So I've been working on this. So that's why these models got some updates. And we also have some financial models. Let me see. Yeah. Moment, do you want to say something? Yeah. Okay. Okay, you asked me to turn on the stream mode. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So we do have some new financial models coming, the minimum rates and Sharpe ratio. And they are, we used to do a lot of research and propose new methodologies, and we are gradually moving this methodology into the model, real model. That's what I mean. All right. So this should be the last slides before we see some code. So the development flow, I would suggest this is what I for as a suggestion to modelers, is that now we have a console. So the console is excellent for prototype, explore the data, contracts, and how to interact and create everything, and to make a model. And then we can create a model code, test it, and submit a PR with the test. That's what we definitely would like the community to join efforts developing us. All right, so let's go into the console and the all right. I hope the fonts are legible, large enough, maybe too big. Okay, so I will just show the crate first. So crate actually takes in two inputs. So the first one is usually your ID, so that we can identify you. I think I try to be funny. I will just say ape, and I want to create a model called count. So that will be these two ones. And what it gets you to to know is that it's actually created file and the contrib. So that's a folder, a leading folder for all the contribution from the community, and followed by the ID, and also lastly by the model. So fire up the code editor. So I have what is actually inside this file. So inside the file, it's actually pretty long and basically give you a lot of instruction. So it's like a task. So once you finish this task, you can remove the comments and keep the tidy. So first of all, I will change my contrib and say 8. And usually I think the user ID doesn't need to be to the model name, but I just want to give it a more name, more longer name, so that more identifiable, because count can be anything. Count transactions. Actions. Okay, and change a bit of the display name and the description, and I'll use the ledger model. And so for this model, I'll just keep the input as empty. I just delete it and I fill in. I change my mind. You can fill in another input later. And the output can be a dictionary, that's fine. So we have finished the first task. So setting up the model stuff. We can also change the class name. So contribute transaction. And then we have quite a bit of comments here about input and output. So just delete them for now. So this is the minimum amount of code that can be put into. So after we do this, save it, and we just do Credmark F1 followed by the slug of the model, which is contribute count transactions. You will load the model and show a version. So one tip is that to add a -J so that it will print nicely for the output. Otherwise, JSON returns in one very long line, but -J will separate the lines and make every element, every key and value in different. That will make things more legible to read. So this model is currently working, and let's add the input. So just now I want to change input, but sort of about using empty input first. So let's design a new input, and because we just want a transaction, let's say we want to give a range of the blocks. So how do we do that? We can say class count transaction. It's a bit verbose name, longer name, but just is able to explain what it does. So we need to derive from DTO object. The DTO is in a short name for data transformation, or it should be called data transfer object. Data transfer object, because it will help with transferring data inside and outside. So we just want to give a range, so we say range, or rather we just say start. And it should be of a type of integer, then give also for the end, which is integer. We can also add a DTO field to assign to our default values. And we can say default be none if we allow it to be the latest. So that if we want to be very strict about types, we definitely need to define this. So we say union integer none. And for integer, we need to give from type import none. Also union. We can add a little bit description to it. Start range. And for end, I will just assign to a minus 100. That means we actually start from the last and trace back to what end of the range. And once we have this defined ready, we can put it to the input. Since it's not called type, but typing import. All right, and a few other places to change is here, the input. Okay, then we can use input.stop and goes to end. Just give it a bit short end. So if let's check if start is none, we will just assign it to current block number. Okay. And one more thing, that's we need to limit this to be less or equals to, or let's make it just less or equals to -1. So yeah, at least to be 1. So the usage of DT means that it can do a lot of checking for us. So if we put a positive to the input, these data will not go into the model. Before it goes to the model, DTO object will stop it and make the check, and that's it fulfill all the checks, then it will go into the model. Prevent us the bogus data to go into the model. Okay, so since we have removed the input, so we need to remove this reference here. Okay, so let's give it a pause and just to run it first. So because we are running it from command line, and how do we know what is the input, what is the format of input? And I just don't want to type, and I want to use automated generated string first. So you can call this command called describe this model to us. And these commands will bring out help version of the input, output types, and you will give example. Takes a while. Yep, comes up. So what it says is that it has input and it has the input schema. Notice that we only specify a DTO for the input. So the DTO only exists for the, but output is a free form dictionary. That's why the describe is not able to say anything about the output. Since we have defined a DTO for the input, the describe command is able to give us the input schema and also give us an example. And copy example, and then can create our command line input string. So on Linux or Mac, you should use a single quote. And on Windows, I noticed that you need to make all the codes is double count. So that's a bit trouble if you are on Windows. So we have this boilerplate input has been created. So let's just say it start from 0, yeah, and end with 1. Let's see whether this input passed the detail check, because end needs to be less or equals to 0, or less or equals to minus, but we're putting a positive number. Oh, because I didn't change the long, so we need to change it from describe to run. Adding a -J so that can the error message more clear to see. So, like what I have said, that this input has been intercepted by the detail checking, and it will prompt us to say that this value is less or minus 1. So they are not conforming to the standard. That's why let's make the change. Okay. After we change it, so the model is able to run, but since we haven't done anything with it, return us empty. So let's go back to the code. Let's use the ledger model to compute this. So the ledger model can be accessed with ledger. And so what we are particularly interested is transactions. Okay. So with the function names are long, but with all the auto prompts or IntelliCode, what VS Code calls this functionality, we are able to save quite a bit of typing. So that's get transaction functions. So in order to use transaction function, we need to import one more thing, which actually I forget which model to use, but we do have a lot of examples. So just type anything, Control P, which is give you is a shortcut in the VS Code about getting all the files in the project. So just type E _, that should give you the list of examples. So the ledger example is in 7. It's a very long code, long piece of models, and actually shows up all the ledger. So we just need one thing here, which is the transaction table, but I'll just copy this import. So what we need is only the transaction table. So let's say this is columns. The get transaction function actually view input. So we can say where, and I think particularly because we need to get accounts, so aggregates is important. So let's fill up the where first. So where is like SQL. So you can use where something equals. So transaction table dot columns which it should prompt me something, but it doesn't. Okay, because my code is not really conform yet, so the VS Code is not able to pass it because the aggregates and columns are not. I didn't have this, so the code was able to be understood by the VS Code. Temporary put empty here, so that you should have automatic times. So we are just particularly interested in block number. And then equals to should we just start? So that's the start. And the other one is aggregates. The aggregates, let's look for some sample code as well. Aggregates. So we need to get this one line first. So what it does is that it will use the ledger, which is shorthand of the self-context ledger. And under ledger object, there is a function called aggregate. And aggregate accepts two things. One is like a mini expression, which uses the SQL function min, max, and in this case, we need to use count. And the second one is the column name that we assign to where does the count function runs and where does the result will go to. So we'll just say count transactions. So we can actually count anything. Just count any. Why not just count hash of transaction? So since this is just an aggregate query, so we don't need. Okay. So then let's just save the result into the ledger result. Just for development purpose, that we will just add a print, which is not advised to do it. So rather, we use logger. Okay, we have a model type up. Then let's run it. All right. So the count transaction really returns, but just doesn't has a zero output. Let's go back. And one thing we can do is try to reduce the number of the blocks. Maybe there's not many of the blocks. That block of data being. Let's try to reduce 1,000. Let's run the again. To 0. Interesting. So let's fire up the console. Because if whenever we have something that cannot be figured out with model, because the model design is like whenever it runs, it just finish falling to the ground, either in error or success, doesn't give us a chance to take a bit of water in the middle. So the console actually give us an opportunity to interact with the result and to see where it gets wrong. So we fire up the console, and the console actually provides a bit of shorthands. So the ledger is actually being predefined, is actually defined as self-context ledger. This has been already been assigned. We just need to ledger this ledger. So ledger get transactions. copy a bit of code here. Okay, we haven't defined the start, so but we can do this. We just use self context block number, and the good news in console is that the block number variable has already been assigned to the with the self.context.block. So we can also save that document. Let's try it. Yes, so these actually help us to give us the number of transactions in this block. We actually have 193 transactions. Let's try once, give an offset of 1,000. And 82, that's on that block. So let's see which block it is. Block number minus 1,000, that's 148045. Copy this, and let me start from. So either scan. Look out for this block. So this block has 82 transactions. Yeah, we have matched. So let's just try another one. Minus 2,000. Just divided by 1,000. And that will be 693. So the console mode, another console mode, actually, you can get the number of. So let's go back to make our model. So let's figure out why the model run. So one thing to get things fixed is to run the model with the block number fixed. So that's additional -B options. That's right. That is still 0. I see. Got it. Know why? Because I give it a value of 0. So wasn't actually, I was looking at block 0. Like there was no transaction on that block. So let me assign it to, by skipping it, So you will give the default value of none, and none the last block. So 82. So this model actually works. Let's make it more better. So since this actually means start offset, let's just give it a better name to it. Set and offset. So you will always relative to current number and trace it back. And we'll just make it with a condition of close to 0. Hence, just this out about none. The default value is not a. So we will just remove union because we no longer use it. And let's just change the factor order variable name. So, and offset start offset. this is no longer needed. So we just do a bit of arithmetic here, or using the block number, the current block number, equal my add start offset, and the line has become a bit longer, so let me break it up. And so this is one of the conditions. So we need to add another condition to specify the end of. So this should be less or equals to that, and this should be larger or equals to plus the end of. This one, and this end should go inside this bracket. Should be. One more thing. The start if end offset is larger, start offset is actually a logical error. So that's with a model run error. So this is a way to raise error inside models. So we can import from Credmark CMF model errors. I remember this model run, and we can say end offset should be smaller than start offset. Give a bit of the error message. And then we just need to making sure all the variable reference. You see that VS Code prompts me this offset is used. Of course, it has been used here. Well, if I just turn off here, and this is not properly F string, so that offset is not used. And so all the codes should be linking, right? So there's no obvious type or syntax. And then one more step, we just furnish up output. So we will give a proper start block number, which is this expression followed by end block number. And offset, and followed by total, or you just say transaction coming from the ledger result, which is a dictionary object, so series 0, almost series. Let me find out what exactly. Just our console actually shows up structure, so it has data. So data, and just access the first one, then get it should be a dictionary, and we just get it something count, which is these columns that we have created. So this one. And this is in terms of functionality, it does nothing, almost nothing. In terms of features, okay, maybe the other way around. In terms of feature, almost in terms the functionality, it has almost have all the elements that we like to see from a model. So it has a proper input detail, and it properly checks what is required, requirements for input from outside. And also inside, it also checks because the DTO is not able to figure out the interrelationship between the inputs. That we have to use our own logic to inform the end offset should be smaller than. And then with all these checks, all the data should properly go into ledger query, and then we return object or dictionary object that with all the inputs and useful information for the user of this model. I think we're almost finished. Hopefully my last run, we need to use start and give it 0, so it starts from last, and just count it from the 10 blocks. Last 11 I use equal. Yep, so we have arrow here. So in C code, let me just try figuring this out. Otherwise, if let's think this part should be at least working. So let's just fix this one. Just equals to offset again. Okay, got another error, but it was. Let me remove start offset. Where? Okay, yeah. Okay, so same with it was with the breaking of the lines causing some problems, but otherwise we should be getting the end offset. Yeah, I think I'm running a bit from 20 minutes overstretched, but I think it's time for me to break down from my coding fever and turning to the audience. Anyone has any question?
Start over?
Yep. Hi.
No.
All right. Woman, do you have any items?
Yeah, I think a good second workshop. I think going forward, we'll try to crowdsource some specific topics, maybe that people are struggling with as they're building their own model. But this is a good starting point as far as just how to get started building. When will this recording be available?
Yeah, I'm recording it, so it should be. I will let Wintron have pretty soon.
Okay, great. Yeah, so whenever that's ready, we'll share that with the folks who can make it, and we'll try to organize some topics, some pain points for the next class. So, Kunlun, thanks again for your expertise, and thanks to those who joined. Feel free to drop any concerns, comments, critiques, just in general discussion, or you can message me directly wherever you feel necessary. And until the next time, we'll see y'all soon.
Yeah. Let's see what how it goes. I mean, I think last time we did a topic-oriented sessions, and this time is more looking at how I code. And yeah, next time we can jump back to.
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kundan.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.